Hey, how's it going, everybody? I just saw Godzilla versus the Kong, and it was dumb as shit, but cool, too. I didn't really have that high of hopes for this movie after what I considered to be a disappointment that was King of Monsters. I was pretty excited for that movie, and when I didn't like it, I ended up walking out kinda sad. So I went into this movie with pretty much no expectations other than to see a giant monk punch a lizard. And that's what I got for a decent amount of it. Whenever Godzilla or King Kong are on screen, I had a really good time. It was really cool. And thankfully they're on screen for most of the movie. However, though, there are moments when they are not on screen, and when they are not on screen, I want it to fucking die. Okay, maybe not that far. The movie wasn't that bad when they weren't on screen, but it definitely wasn't very good. Let me continue praising it real quickly, though. I really liked all the special effects. The effects on Kong in particular were fantastic. A lot of the movie looks really great. The music was pretty good. The acting, for the most part, throughout most of the movie was also pretty consistently alright, although there were a few bad performances here and there. And the action was orgasmic. This is definitely the right movie for anyone who just wants to see two titans duking it out. It was so fucking cool. So yeah, for the most part, I enjoyed myself, but then there are other things about this movie that just made me so fucking annoyed. Everything in the B plot absolutely infuriated me. There were so many little things that were just making me annoyed with the fucking human characters to the point where it dragged down my enjoyment of the movie so fucking much. There are little things throughout the movie, like this podcast guy who's like really fucking paranoid about people hunting him down or something. But he doesn't even use like a voice filter when he's doing his podcast, so it's just like, are you really that concerned? Why didn't you think about that? You could have just auto-tuned your voice in some way so that way it's unrecognizable. There was one part when they were sneaking into a facility and they came out of an elevator and were looking around, and there was like a pod in front of them. And then they heard someone coming around the corner. So instead of going back into the elevator that was directly right behind them, they decided to go into the fucking pod. And it just so conveniently took them to where they needed to go. But how fucking stupid do you have to be? You're just gonna go in some fucking random pod? What if they were going in the pod? Wouldn't it have been better to take the elevator? At least that way you could fucking get out of there. There's also like a guardian character that's like a mother over the little deaf girl who has like this little friendship with Kong that I thought was pretty good, actually. But the mother is so, on top of having like the worst performance in the film, the mother is so fucking inconsistent at points. It's like 1 second she's completely alright with this little girl going out there and trying to like appease this giant gorilla, and then the next fucking time she tries to do it, she's like, no, it's too dangerous, you can't go see him, he's too scared. Make up your fucking mind. You had no problem with it earlier. Maybe it's because they were on a ship this time, but even still, when she goes out there, she doesn't really seem that fucking concerned. There was another bit where they all went down to Godzilla and King Kong's world, which in the previous film, I'm pretty sure they established that it was highly radioactive. One of the characters went down there wearing a radioactive suit in King of Monsters and still died. But then I figured, well, that's probably because he's like in another part of the fucking world. So then when they go to this world, it's just kind of like, okay, whatever, it's fine. But then they go into King Kong's home, and then they're like, oh yeah, there's radiation here. And all I could think is, wait, so there's still fucking radiation? Why aren't you wearing protective suits? Why isn't the little girl wearing any protective suits? What is your fucking deal? Do you want to fucking die? You don't know anything about this world and you're just gonna walk around without some fucking space helmet or something? The fuck is wrong with you? So yeah, there was some stupid shit. And yeah, I know this movie is definitely a little bit aware that its concept is dumb. But being aware that your concept is dumb and being aware that your characters are dumb are two fucking different things. So yeah, that was the only part of the movie that annoyed me. Aside from that, I was highly entertained. There was a lot of really cool fucking action. The effects were great. I got my money's worth. I saw this shit in IMAX and it was fucking cool. If you can ignore the stupid fucking human characters and how fucking boring their shit is, you'll have a blast. Just one more thing, and this can kind of count as a spoiler, I guess, so just like skip a few seconds ahead, or I guess I'll put a time code to where you can go if you don't want to be spoiled. Okay. 3, 2, 1, spoiler time. So there's a part of the movie where we see that the Mechagodzilla is being powered by King Ghidorah. They like have a skull from one of his fucking heads, and then all I could think to myself when I was watching this was, oh, this is just like Transformers Age of Extinction, except a lot better. And wouldn't you know it, the exact thing that happened in Age of Extinction happened in this movie. The previous antagonist of the previous film's head takes control of the new mechanical body it's given and betrays the people that gave it life again. Though that was kind of interesting. There was also a bit earlier on in the movie, which I guess I'll put this in spoiler talk too, where they were trying to develop the podcast guy, and the way they did it was so forced it made me physically fucking cringe. It was just like, oh, what's that gun holster with a bottle of whiskey? And it was just like, oh, this was from my dead wife, you know, my dead wife. The way they did it made me cringe really fucking hard. And it was so obvious it was going to come back into play. And it came back into play in the dumbest possible way. But, hey, it was convenient. That was another thing that just kind of annoyed me that I wanted to mention. There was also one more stupid thing involving the... Well, there's a lot more stupid things, but there's one thing in particular that kind of annoyed me. When they are discovering Mechagodzilla, the characters just stupidly walk into this giant room, and the first thing the podcast guy does is just fucking scream. Like, you are just trying to get caught, aren't you, you fucking idiot? And no one's mad at him for doing it, and then as soon as Mechagodzilla comes and starts destroying shit, they're able to find this, like, little underground thing, like, where they can hide. But they don't show it until they're, like, already halfway there, so you're just kind of watching thinking, what the fuck are you doing? Just turn the fuck around and go back the way you came! That fucking door was still open! Alright, I'm done with spoiler talk. So yeah, that was Godzilla and, the monk. It was good, even though I was annoyed. I can comfortably say that the cool shit that was going on was enough to, for once, actually have me ignore the dumb shit. I'll probably be watching this again just for the fucking fights alone. They were so cool. Really happy I got to see this in IMAX. Fun time. I think most people will be able to really enjoy this. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Would recommend. Good movie. Goodbye.